local, late breaking. This is KEZI 9 News.
McKenzie Willamette Medical Center is opening its doors to brand new operating rooms like this one.
A suspect broke in through this window and then made their way inside the store. I spoke to the general manager of this hotel that sits right along the Florence coast, and he says luckily that tsunami watch did not become a warning. That's right, Kaylin. A spokeswoman with Lane Fire tells me this training is invaluable to the team. She says it ensures preparation and safety when responding to an emergency call. It was a very special ceremony for both graduates and family members. As one of the coordinators says, for many of these graduates, it's a huge accomplishment. Well, Bob, these cases are from back in the 1980s. They remain unsolved over the years. But now there is a link between the DNA collected during each investigation. Fire crews told me they got the call shortly after 5 Saturday morning. It happened at a manufacturing company on Royal Avenue and Green Hill Road. Last year, the nationwide march took place following President Trump's election into office, and this year, organizers say they wanted to highlight the progress being made. En nuestra alerta de salud, expertos dicen estar preocupados de que el flu ataque a una persona más de una vez. Y las aguas hélidas del río Willamette no impidieron que cientos de personas se metieran al río. El evento comenzó a las 11 de la mañana y nuestra reportera Raquel estuvo presente y nos explica qué los motivó a participar. Y el aceite para cocinar, conocido en inglés como hash oil, puede ser extremadamente peligroso. Como pueden ver en estas imágenes, causó una explosión en una casa al noreste de Portland, dejando a 2 personas muertas. Y como Chris Willis nos muestra, el ingrediente necesario para prepararlo no es difícil de conseguir.
It was too late to do anything. We lost everything in our apartment.
Stephen Laszlo and his family lost everything last Wednesday. In a matter of seconds, his apartment went up in flames.
The property management place has nothing for us, and so as of right now, Friday morning when we check out of our apartment, we're basically on the streets.
Laszlo didn't have much, but the little he did have, he lost, including his dog. He says not having renter's insurance has made this situation very difficult.
We had the regular insurance where it covers if we damage their apartment, but nothing covering our personal belongings or anything like that.
He says he heard of renter's insurance before, but he never considered it because he thought it was outside his budget. And he's not the only one.
A lot of people think it's expensive because I guess they assume renter's insurance is like homeowner's insurance, and it's not. It's so affordable, it isn't even funny. It's like $12 a month.
Insurance agent Candice Hook says many of her customers aren't aware of the benefits that come with renter's insurance.
Like if the apartment building they live in, or the house, or the condo, or the townhouse, or whatever that they live in burns up or has a loss and they can't live there, it pays for them to live somewhere else temporarily.
A lesson Laszlo has learned and wants to share with others.
I just like everybody to know to make sure you have the best renter's insurance you can find, and make sure everything in your house works correctly. All your smoke detectors, whether they'll do it for you or not, make sure you do it yourself.
Reporting in Eugene, Jeanette Quesada, KEZI 9 News. A 7.9 earthquake shook Kodiak, Alaska early Tuesday morning, activating a tsunami watch for the Oregon coast. Martin Allison is the general manager for Driftwood Shores Resort and Conference Center. He says he once lived in Kodiak, and earthquakes are very common in the last frontier.
The last one I was up there was, I think, probably a 7-point, and it shook the house. I mean, it shook you out of bed. You knew there was a serious earthquake going on.
The resort Allison manages is right on the coast and is always ready for the event of a tsunami.
Well, we have an advantage, luckily, that just south of the building here is the tsunami tower. So when that warning system goes off, everybody knows that there is the potential for a tsunami warning.
He says the warning system gets tested once a month.
Of course, if it were to go off and it wasn't at the end of the month, we keep a list in-house of all the guests that are here. And what we would do is evacuate them.
Fortunately, the watch was called off shortly before 5 o'clock Tuesday morning. But if one were to happen, he says they are prepared.
On the back of every guest room door is a tsunami warning message and where to go in the event of a tsunami.